Hi, everyone. So thank you for joining us today for Midweek Storytime, Your Story Edition. And as you can see, I have a special guest with me. You've seen her before, and she's here to continue sharing her story. It's my mom. Say hi, Mom.
Hi, guys. Hi, ladies.
So when she spoke last, she expressed the struggle of going through a divorce and being a single mom. And she briefly mentioned that she was in a very abusive relationship. She did have like a boyfriend who didn't turn out to be what she thought he was going to be. And it ended up being a abusive, very volatile, toxic relationship. And we didn't really go past that. We just kind of mentioned it and kept talking because we were speaking about being a single mom and going through a divorce and things like that. But today, we're going to take a deeper dive into what it is to be in an abusive relationship, straight from someone who was in an abusive relationship. I mean, I can only speak as someone who witnessed it, but my mom will be speaking on behalf of people who've actually gone through it because she's gone through it herself. October is also Domestic Violence Awareness Month. So we want to shed some light on that and just break the silence for women who are not able to speak out for themselves. So, Mom, tell me about how, I mean, let them know. I kind of know how everything started, but let the ladies know, let our audience know how everything all started.
Well, I really don't like to talk too much about that period of my life because it does really bring back to me many painful memories, brings me anger, brings me a lot of regrets. So, but if there's one woman out there that is either going through the same or has gone through the same and could hear me out, then it's worth me telling my story. So I'm going to try to get through this without getting so emotional because this is a very emotional for me. It was 2 years of my life that this man stole from me. And you're probably saying, like, how can somebody steal your life? He took over my life. I had to live through him because that's how it is with these abusive men. They like little snakes. They crawl in very slowly. And when you open your eyes, you're already in the pit. And you be like, okay, how do I get out of here? How do I get out of this? And that was my situation. When I opened my eyes and realized what's going on, I was like, how do I get out of this? And it was very, very hard for me to get out. That's why sometimes we have to be careful in telling a woman that is going through an abusive relationship to just tell her, oh, just pack your bags and leave him, just leave him. We have to be careful in saying that because it's not that easy. These men take total control of your life. They stalk you, follow you, and they won't let you live. They won't let you live happy. And it's even worse when you have children with these men. Thank God that was not my issue. But like I said,
Didn't start off like that, right?
no,
I don't
it didn't.
remember him
It
being
didn't.
like that.
It didn't. No, it didn't. I'll start from the beginning. It was like 1994 when I saw him again. I knew him since I was a teenager, and I always did have a crush on him. So to make the long story short, he was in prison. Red light, green, red flag,
Yeah.
ladies. He was in prison. Don't get me wrong. There might be innocent people in prison, yes.
Or they
But
come
when
out and be reformed and do better.
exactly,
That's not what
exactly. That was not his case. When you're 15 years old and you go in and out of prison, that was not his case. But when he did come out of prison after doing 8 years, I say hi to him. I saw him because he was from the neighborhood. And I said hi to him. I should have had never said hi. That was the first day of my 2 years of living hell. And like my daughter said, no, it didn't start like that. He was really nice. Everything was fine. As
he was
I
nice to
see
me.
now,
He was nice to me.
Yes, yes. And it moved fast. I think it moved fast. Dumb little me, it moved fast, and we became boyfriend and girlfriends. And slowly, and then I noticed, like, I found out later on, like, I would say a couple of months, maybe 3 or 2, that he was using drugs. I found out that he was using drugs. Once I found out that he was on drugs, sniffing cocaine, I was like, okay, this has to end. I'm leaving you. This is not going to happen. I'm not going to be in a relationship with a man that is using drugs. So I tried leaving him, and he didn't let me, because they come with this sad, pathetic story. They start crying, or forgive me, I won't do it again.
I'm gonna
But
change.
yes, but it's like they manipulate you in such a way, and that's what was happening to me. And then slowly, okay, then he did stop. Maybe like 2 days, he would last clean. So then he hit the drugs use a little even more. But once the drug use started, that's where the more controlling came in. The little friends that I did have, I lost. I lost the communication, the bond with my family. I was losing the bond with my daughter. And that was the most.
It's okay. It's okay, mom. It's okay. It's okay. We're okay now. That's what they do.
Sorry.
It's okay. It's
That
okay.
was the most painful thing for me. It wasn't so much me going through that experience, but having my daughter go through it with me. That's what hurted me the most. And at that moment, I wasn't seeing it like that.
Yeah.
Because like I said, they blind you in such a way. And this man just blinded me. And it was like every single, like when boyfriend and girlfriends go out, they go out to the movies, they go out to dinner. There was none of that in our relationship. It was from my house to his house, to his house, from my house. We go pick up my daughter in school. Sometimes he will go pick her up. And then it became that, like I said, I lost all my friends. It was just me and him every single day, every single day, every single day, all day.
But that was
And
done to kind of isolate you so that he can have control
exactly.
over everything and every aspect of your life.
Yes. Yes. And at the moment, I was just too blind to see that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really sad, because no woman should be treated like that at all whatsoever. We are queens, and we deserve to be treated like a queen. But it was like he took a hold, and I don't even think that my family was aware of
No.
what I was going through. And
Because you become really good at hiding it. Because you know, like,
yes,
it's not okay, but you hope that it's just gonna get better, or it was just a bad
yes,
day. Um,
yes,
and you become really good at hiding it.
yes, yes. And yes, I hide a lot. I did hide a lot. And it became, like I said, it was just me and him every day. I lost any communication with the outer world. I didn't have no social life at all whatsoever. And if I'm walking down the street with him, if I look to the left, what you looking at? Who you looking at? If I look to the right, who you looking at? What, I couldn't talk to anybody. At that time, my ex-husband would pick up my daughter for visiting rights, for visitation every other week. And that was a fight right there. All the time, my daughter's father would pick him up, would pick her up. That was a fight right there. And it was a fight every single day. And when I mean a fight, I mean a fight. I would get so angry with him that I just didn't care about who was around me, what was going on, that I would hit him. I remember one afternoon, I had a sharp nail file, and I just started scratching his chest. I just started scratching his chest with the sharp nail file. And he only hit me one time. We was outside, and it was an argument. Remember, my daughter was in school, and we was outside. And I hit him because I'm telling you, it was a fight every single day, especially when he needed his hit. When he needed his hit,
His
he would
job.
come with a big fight
Mm-hmm.
every single day. So I remember in the streets, I was like in a park in between buildings, and we got into a fight. I hit him first, and he smacked me. But since I had such sensitive skin, the smack wasn't even that hard. But when he smacked me, my eye quickly got swollen and bruised. So I was like, what do I do now? And the police came. It looks like somebody saw what was going on and somebody called the police. Right there, that was my opportunity to get out. But little silly me, stupid moi, I didn't get out of the relationship. The police came and asked me, do you want to press charges? Did he hit you? And I was like, no, I don't want to press charges. No, everything is okay. Mind you, I'm crying with a bruised eye. So the police took me to the police car. He told me I could take you somewhere. So they got me away from him that afternoon. I ended up going to aunt's house, and she was on the 16th floor. When I go upstairs, I had a button-down dress, and even the buttons flew, and because we were physically fighting. And I had to hold on to my dress and hold on like this, and I'm walking around with a bruised eye. My aunt wasn't there. So I waited inside her building, and I remember there was an apartment right on the main floor, and there was a lady that came out, and I asked her, can I please have some ice? I asked for some ice to a perfect stranger so I could put ice in my eye. So then I go back upstairs to my aunt's house again upstairs, and she was there because she went in through the back. So she didn't ask me any questions or anything, but I tried to refuge myself in her house just for a couple of hours. Yeah. I sewed the buttons back on my dress, and she didn't ask any questions. But when I got to the school, I don't remember if he had picked up my daughter.
Yeah,
my daughter wasn't in school.
I remember that day pretty vividly because he picked me up from school with my grandfather. Now that freaked me out because I'm like, why are you here? And like, where's my mom? So I already knew what was happening in the relationship. I mean, I saw a lot. I saw the physicalities and the arguments. I saw all of that. So I'm like, why is he picking me up? Where's my mom? And I'm asking him like, where's my mom? And he doesn't know. Like he says he doesn't know, and he doesn't know what happened. And now I'm freaking out. I thought he killed my mom. I was a little girl freaking out. I was like, what, 9, 10 years old, maybe, freaking out because I knew that this man will hurt my mom. My mom is missing. He doesn't know where she's at. Nobody knows where she's at. This was like before cell phones. It's not like I could text her like, hey mom, how are you? Where are you? So like, I remember just getting home, just going to my room and crying because I legit thought he killed my mom and he's pretending like he didn't know anything. Later on, the principal actually shows up to my house afterwards asking like what happened. I don't even know how the school even let me go into this guy's hands. He just picked me up and they just let me go with him. But they let me, I don't know. We should have sued the school. So I remember people coming home like, wait, but where's your mom? Like, I'm like, lady, is too, like, you already let me out to school. But I remember being so terrified and like, where's my mom? And what my thinking was, what did he do to my mom? Like, he must have killed her because my mom wouldn't just leave me somewhere. Like, she just wouldn't just forget about me. I really thought my mom was dead, and I was a hot mess.
Yeah. But that afternoon, when I called the school, please don't let nobody pick up my daughter. But I guess I called too late. And when I got to the school, my daughter had been picked up. And this is the thing with these men, that they hide and they watch you. So before I even got home, he stopped me and he saw me in the street before I got home. So then he gave me that pity story again. Oh, I'm sorry, blah, blah, blah. What are we going to... I had to lie to my father. This is how far these men take us women. I had to lie to my father about the bruise in my eye. I had to tell him, I told him that a kid's playing. What was that?
You lied to me about the bruise too.
Yes, I had to lie to my family in total. And this is what they take you to. And it should never be like that. But like I said in the beginning, they blind you in such a way that when you get out, I mean, like when you open your eyes, it's late. But ladies, it's never late. It might be really, really hard to get out, but it's not late to get out. And when I got home, like I said, I had to lie to my father about my eye. And those 2 years, I wish I had like a big giant eraser, like to erase those 2 years out of my life. But no, God has that, reminds you every now and then, because that made me the woman that I am today. And it helps me to be grateful for what I have today. Because when every now and then, you want to like, oh, you complain about this and that. But then every now and then, it's like a movie that goes rewinds. And God is like showing you, like, wait a minute, you remember
Where
this?
we're at.
And you're gonna complain where you at now. And I was like, whoa, wait a minute, it's true. And 6 months out of those 2 years, he was locked up again. He went to prison to Rikers Island, and that was another escape for me. But no, I didn't. I went to visit him in prison, and I think I would visit like maybe every 2 weeks or once a month. And trust me, ladies, that's not a pretty place to go to. It should be even worse now with what you hear in the news. But back in the day, that's not a nice place to visit. I don't wish that on any woman. And he did came out, and still the problems and the issues. Even I was in church at the time. We were in church at the time. And when he was away for those 6 months, people noticed that I was a little more outgoing, and when he came back out, that he goes back to church with me, the people noticed already that I had to change, because then I have to be like this, like, don't look over there, be careful what you say to this person, because it was a fight, like I said, every single day. And like I said,
He
this man
wasn't
would
even
take out,
allowed to go to the corner store. There was a
no,
bodega
nowhere.
that
I
I
couldn't go
used to have
anywhere.
a little girl, and the guy there, this old guy,
Oh,
always gave
yes.
me free candy. Always gave me free candy. And but the good candy, like the big pack of Starburst, Klondike
Mm-hmm.
bars, like the legit stuff, he would give me for free. So I loved going to that corner store. The old man loved me there. It was great. But now with this guy in the picture, he painted this whole thing in his head, like my mom was cheating on him with the old dude from the bodega. And like now I'm not allowed to go to the corner store.
That he was
Buy
just trying to give me
candy.
candy to get to me. Yes.
Exactly. But he's been doing that for years. Like I've been living in that
Yes.
block since I was 4 years old. So
Mm-hmm.
I was there for like at least 6 years by this time. And they just knew me there. And I would go there
Yes.
with my grandpa. Like, but now I'm not allowed to even I'm
Yes.
not now I'm not allowed to do certain things because he feels a certain way. And then I always knew that there was a fight when I would go with my dad because my mom
Mm-hmm.
wasn't even allowed to look out the window to watch me go from the house to the car because she's looking at my dad and like, dude, relax, right? So
Yes.
I knew that there was certain things I couldn't say once I came back home from being with my dad because it will cause a fight with them. Like I remember one time my dad used to love taking us like to the hotels for a weekend just to be in a hotel and like super fun with my sister, my stepmom. And I came home and they like super excited, like, oh, we stayed in a hotel, it was such a nice hotel. And he lost it, like on my mom. Like he shouldn't be taking her to hotels. People do bad things there. It's like, bro, what are you? Like he would just have these things in him, like I don't know, he definitely
Nothing.
needed help, and it's just like he wanted things to be like his way, and so I just stopped really saying anything that happened because I didn't want to cause extra fights um between them and just cause these things. And I mean, being a child who witnessed that, it's not good for your children to witness.
No.
And I ended up being
No.
okay,
No.
right? But it did take a lot. I had to learn how to I built a lot of barriers and I had to be really strong and tough, and I'm grateful for that because it turned me out to be like a really tough, strong woman that I am today. But it also created certain barriers where I just was a very brick wall and a cold person. as I got older, and I had to learn how to kind of not be so cold. And I think getting with my husband and being with him and helped me kind of uh learn to trust, and it's okay to love a man and things like that. But I'll save that story for another day. I had to really work on myself after that. But mom, like you're going through that. He's an addict. He's a drug addict.
Yes.
um
And
he
the fights were all the time, every day,
Every
and
day there's
the
fights.
yelling.
They would get physical. You would even get physical too. I mean,
Yes,
it's just
because
so toxic.
yes,
um
this he would just get the monster out of me, like the monster. You know, like the Incredible Hulk that would turn green.
yeah,
He would just get that beast out of me. Like I will have to hit him. And I
that was
remember,
your reaction to the emotional and mental abuse.
yes,
You
and
reciprocated that with like violence, and then
yes,
he reciprocated that with even more violence. um
yes. And then I had to live that alone with my child because I couldn't talk to anybody. Since I lost the little friends that I had, I couldn't talk to anybody. I couldn't ask for help anywhere. So, like I said, he would just take the monster out of me. And I remember that my fights, like I said, the anger in me, it would just blind me. And I remember that my daughter would throw herself at the floor trying to get my attention, the fighting away from him to focus on her. But at that moment, the anger in me didn't let me see that. It was like I was so angry. I would tell Celine, stop. But it was just the anger. And I remember one afternoon, um, we were here in my house, and my father used to have a butcher knife because all the time I told him, I'm gonna leave you. He's always threatening that he was gonna kill me. I'm gonna kill you. I promise you I'm gonna kill you. If you leave me, I promise you I'm gonna kill you. So my father had a butcher knife. I don't know. I think they call it that blade is this big with the handle like this.
yeah, that's a butcher
That's
knife.
a butcher knife. My father had one, and I told him, I'm gonna leave you. Get out. I want you to get out. He took that knife and put it in my neck. And he had it like this. And he says, if you leave me, I'm gonna kill you right now. And I was so full of anger that what I did was I lunged to the knife. I pushed my neck to the knife. I told, you're gonna kill me, go ahead, kill me. But when he saw me that I put my neck to the knife, he let go of the knife. He was like, you're gonna cut yourself. You're gonna cut yourself. I told, Papa, don't you wanna kill me? Didn't you say you wanna kill me? That's how furious this man would get me. And I would break anything that was in front of me. I would grab and throw it at him and break it. And I'm telling you, ladies, that's not a life for us women. That was not a life for me. And like I said, I had to live it alone quietly because I couldn't speak to anybody. But for the mercy of God, thank God I managed to get out. It got pretty ugly before I got out, but I did get out. And um, when I did get out, I didn't leave my house. I couldn't leave my house because he was still at the corner watching me. My father would take, when he was in better health at that time, my father would have to take my daughter to school and pick her up. But there he was at the corner watching to see if I go out. I couldn't look out the window because boom, there he was. He would walk back and forth in front of the house until he finally disappeared. I guess he returned to prison or whatever, don't care. And I managed to move on. I mean, that was a period of my life, like I said, it was darkness for me. It was like darkness, and I hated it. I hated this man. I know the word hate is an ugly word, but if I ever hate a person in this life, it's this man. And I remember when when it was all over, and my daughter told me that she resented me for allowing me to let her go through that. When she told me that, she killed me. It was like she took a spear and just rammed it to my heart and twisted and twisted. That was the most painful words that my daughter can ever say. I know that she didn't say it to hurt me. She said it to make me realize, because at the moment I didn't realize, like I said, you go blind. You go blind. They
And
take
you feel
total
like kids
control of
are
your
not
life.
paying attention, and they're not
Yes.
understanding, and I understood everything. I witnessed everything. I understood everything. I even tried to stop things, but no one paid any mind to me.
I'm telling you, it was horrible. And when my daughter told me that, and she's there, she can say it, I was crying. I asked for forgiveness. I begged for forgiveness. Months and months later, years and years later, I kept asking for forgiveness. And when I graduated in 2018, it was in a big theater, and we were texting each other because I couldn't see where she was sitting at. She was up in the balcony. And I was texting her, and I remember texting her. I told her, Ma, I didn't do this just for me. I did it for you. I wanted to give my daughter a reason to be proud of me, a reason, something to say. My mom accomplished something. I'm telling you that I took years trying to make it up to her. And I think we're in a good place now,
Yeah,
but
I
it
mean,
had to work.
I found the need to share my resentment towards her because I needed to find healing for myself. I am a big believer
Yes.
that holding resentment in your heart is not going to allow you to grow and to be a better person. So I told my mom I had resentment towards her. Like I even forgave this man. Like I hated this man with a passion. And
Mm.
it was really with God's help, to be honest, that I found it in my heart to forgive him. He never said sorry. I don't need his sorry. Don't care. But I forgave him in my heart. I could think about him and not feel hatred towards him. But there was other pieces to the puzzle that I needed to find healing for. I had to let my mom know, hey, like I'm kind of mad at you about this and I resent you because you allowed me to go through this. You chose this guy. You chose him to be in our lives. You allowed this happen. I also was a little naive with what it was like to be a victim of domestic violence and to be under the control of someone, right? I understand that, like, I understood that like years later and just kind of understanding the situation, understanding where my mom came from. So I'm not victim blaming, but she did make poor choices, and I wanted to share with her, like, Mom, like your poor choices affected me and it hurt me, and this is how I feel towards you, but I'm telling you because I want us to heal and I want us to get better. I didn't just tell her, hey, I hate you because of what you did and like I never want to speak to you again. It was more like, Mom, this is how I feel towards you, but I want to feel better. I need to let it out. And thankfully she was able to understand where I was coming from, apologize for it, and try to grow from it. um Unfortunately, sometimes when we express to our parents that their poor choices affect us, they are like oblivious and pretend like we make it up. But thankfully, my mom did not do that. She was fully, like, she fully understood. And I mean, we could always go deeper into this, like, kind of rebuilding and reestablishing and like creating that bond again in between parent and child. We go deeper into that later on. But my purpose in telling her that was to grow and to get better and to kind of heal my heart and to grow. I was a teenager, a young adult, and I needed to kind of like find myself. I also held resentment against my dad, who I was 20 years old when I told my dad I resented him. He wasn't really there for me. And I went through this whole thing and he was clueless. I mean, a father who was present would have been present would have noticed something is wrong with me, you know. So I also share with him that, I mean, that's a whole different story. But I think we were able to hear. If I Even now, I feel like sometimes my mom feels guilty, but I try to always remind her, like, I forgave you like a long time ago. I forgave her a really long time ago. I don't throw it in her face. I don't When I say I forgave, I really forgave. I don't throw it in her face. I don't say you made poor choices and now I'm all screwed up. No, because there comes a time in our lives where, okay, yeah, I might have gotten a little screwed up and it wasn't the best experience for me, but I grow up at one point, right? And I become an adult and I have to make conscious decisions. I can't be an adult, make a bunch of mistakes, and then blame it on my mom or my parents for their poor choices. Like there's has to come a time where I grow up and I need to hold myself accountable, right? So yeah, I was resentful towards my mom because of this situation. But as I grew older, I realized that she was a victim. She was a victim of domestic violence. She was a victim of her situation. And, I understood that, in my head, I'm like, why didn't you just leave him? Like, you didn't have kids with him. You didn't live with him. What was the problem? But I learned that it wasn't that easy. It wasn't just a simple, well, bye. Like, he's threatening your life. He's threatening to kill you. He's threatening to take your kid away. Like, what is, like, how can you get out of that? And it's 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 nice to see that you managed to get out. We managed to get out. I mean, even when we
Yes.
did leave him, it was still a tough time because, again, we were
Mm-hmm.
like prisoners in our own home. Like, I couldn't play
Yes.
outside. I was just allowed to go to school and come back. With my grandpa like taking me. Because he would be there watching, and he would like call
Yes.
my name. And if I'm outside in the playground at school, he would be there at the gate calling me. So I would not even go outside or play inside. Like, it was a really, really bad time, a very scary time, because I'm always thinking like, this guy's gonna kill us. But thankfully we survived it. She survived it, and she's brave enough to share the story. And I don't want her to, and I'm very proud of her, because I don't want her to feel ashamed anymore. I don't want her to feel guilty anymore. I don't want her to feel like she failed me. She's an amazing mom. She just made poor choices. I feel like every mom makes poor choices. I mean, I'm going to make poor choices. But I get it. I understand how she could probably feel certain things, but it was so long ago. And I mean, we definitely were able to rebuild our relationship since then.
But it's
Um,
something like it haunts you, like
yeah,
for life. It
but it
haunts you.
shouldn't. It shouldn't. And that's what I want us to
Mm-hmm.
really put out there. Like,
Yes.
you're a victim. You should not be ashamed of that, but you're a victim that survived. You're a victim that got out. So it's something that, okay, it sucked that you went through it, but you should wear it as a badge of honor that you made it out. Not every woman, unfortunately, makes it out. And I know we're
Yes. It's
addressing
sad.
women because there's women take hold, but I am fully aware that there are men who are abused by women.
Yes.
um we know that, we understand that, so I'm not taking away from that, but this is woman take hold, and a woman is sharing her story. So we're focusing more on that, but I'm not oblivious to the idea that there are men who are also abused and suffer um at the hands of women, unfortunately. So you got out. Now he's like stalking you, and but then he just kind of disappears.
Mm-hmm.
I think he ends up going back to jail, actually.
I'm
And
sure.
then he comes out, and he just kind of disappears. I think I saw him one or two times in my adulthood, like just like on the train or here, but he never even said anything to me. So I'm like, and I saw him, and I was thankful that I was able to look at him and not wish him to die and burn in hell. Right? I'm being honest. So it was nice to see that, you know what? Like, I'm healed from this. Like, you have no place in my life
Yes.
anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm healed from this. I can see you. I mean, if you're burning right there and there's a bucket of water, maybe I'll turn you off. Maybe I won't. I don't know. But I didn't wish you to get burned. You know what I mean? I didn't wish you to burn to death. So it's just it's a difficult topic. I think, like my mom, like many women, like feel ashamed or embarrassed
Mm-hmm.
that they allowed something like that to happen. But again, like, they start off so slick and so smooth,
Mm-hmm.
and they
But I
really
don't know.
their way.
I don't know if I said in the beginning that I knew him when I was a teenager.
Yeah,
So I always had a crush on him when I
yeah.
knew him as a teenager.
So
So
he
then
wasn't
years
a
went
complete
by.
stranger.
Yeah. So when I saw him at a prison, but
You
yeah,
thought, oh, he's gonna change. He's gonna be better. I remember him when we were
you
kids.
think,
This is probably something that could work. I mean, you were a single mom. You were probably like ready for a relationship now, and um, I mean, it happens. Like, you're not the only woman, and I don't want any woman to, if it's something that they're going through right now, like, seek help. Like, you don't want to wait until it's too late.
yes,
Seek help for the sake of yourself, if you have children, for the sake of your children. And abuse is not just physical. There's mental abuse, there's psychological abuse, there's financial abuse where they manipulate all the finances, and you have to beg them
yes,
for $1 to go to the corner store. There's so many different types of abuses that don't feel like, well, he's never smacked me, so there's like this really good Netflix show called Maid, and this girl, she is in an abusive relationship, but she's never gotten smacked, right? So she finds it difficult to find help because every time it's like, oh, did he hit you? Like, no, he didn't hit me. No, there's no police records. But it's a really good story. It's a sad story. It's really a real story, but you can see how she's just perseveres and she fights through whatever she needs to fight through for her and her daughter. So it's a really good Netflix show, and it kind of shows like you don't need to get smacked around to be in an abusive relationship. And I think it's important for Domestic Violence Awareness Month and every month that we speak out and we share this and share experiences so that other women can feel encouraged, and other women who probably went through it, maybe they're struggling with feeling embarrassed, they're feeling ashamed, or feeling like it's their fault
Mm-hmm.
that they went through that, or it's their fault that their kids suffered X, Y, and Z. But it's important that we can't hold this victimization forever. We can't be a victim forever. Yeah, we were a victim, but we survived it. We overcame it. We're overcomers. We're victors type thing, you know? So that's what I want to encourage ladies who probably have been through this or know someone who's been through this. Like really encourage them, let them know like you don't have to be ashamed. You don't have to beat yourself up forever.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to haunt you. You don't have to hate these people forever. You can be liberated from it. You can be freed from it. I mean, we're
And
living testimony to that. Uh,
yes, and it's also sad because they take your self-esteem, they take the
yeah.
respect that you have for yourself, they take that inner beauty, because we have to consider ourselves beautiful. Like
Mhm.
I said at the beginning, we are queen, princess. They take that, they just take it away from you. And it's like you have a low self-esteem, you don't have a life, and it's like you're living under his wing and that's it.
Yeah.
But no, if there's a way that you can get out, try to get out. I know it's hard, but it's not impossible.
Yeah.
And it's even harder on women that don't have anybody. That sometimes there's women that's all they have is that man.
Yeah.
And
There's
it's
so
really
many, there's
sad.
hotlines, there's
Oh, yes, too.
associations, there's
There's
group homes,
programs.
there's programs, like there's so many outlets that
That's true.
offer help. Because yeah, they isolate you so that you don't have friends, so you don't have
Yes.
I mean, your own sister
Yes.
didn't even know what was going on. She knew something was off, but she didn't know the details
And she
until
didn't know the
I
details.
I shared with her like later in life. I'm like, hey, Titi, you want to know what happened to me as a kid? You want to know what I witnessed? Because like a lot of people had no clue. I was the one like sharing, like, hey, you want to know what happened to me? So or what I witnessed type thing. So I mean, it kind of boils down to like I feel like what the moral of today's story is that you are worth more. You
Yes.
are priceless. You are someone who deserves better. Whether it's something you're going through or you went through, like don't let that be your label. Don't let that be like the thing that haunts you forever. Like you need to understand that you're worth more than that experience. You're worth more than that abuse. That you are priceless. Because they can definitely snatch away your self-esteem, your how highly you feel about yourself, feeling good about yourself. They kind of take away your independence. They take away
Mm-hmm.
everything. Your they
Exactly.
even take away your identity. So
Yes.
I mean, like,
Mm-hmm.
ladies, you're definitely worth more than
Yes.
that. And mom, thank you so much. I know this is a really, really hard,
It's a very touching.
very hard topic. I think it's probably harder than like talking about divorce and being a single mom, but I know it's a really hard
Mm-hmm.
topic. But I am so proud of you. Um,
Thank you, baby.
and I thank you so much for sharing your story and being so transparent and honest about it. Because I truly do believe that a woman will be. I always do these videos, and I'm like, if I touch one woman, then it's all worth it. And
Yes.
kind of like what WTH is all about, like inspiring one woman at a time. And I truly believe that you're gonna inspire at least one woman with this story. And I thank you so much. And you don't have to apologize anymore. I tell you that over and over again. I've been forgave you.
I mean, like it took a long time. It took a long
I'm very
time.
proud of you. I do know that you're an amazing mom. You just a
Thank you,
human that
baby.
made poor choices, and but we overcame them and we got through them together because it was really just me and you. We got through them,
Yes.
and we were able to learn from it and just grow from it and not have any type of resentment or anything like that. It's been years since that anyway. So thank you again, mom. You're so brave. You were
I'm
so
a
honest.
survivor.
Yes. I'm a survivor. I'm not gonna give up. I'm not gonna stop. I'm gonna get a child. But yeah, mom, thank you so much. Uh,
Thank you, baby.
to the people watching this, thank you for watching it. Make sure to share, make sure to comment and like, follow WPH, where we like to inspire one woman at a time and just encourage women that they can take hold of their life and their dreams. And
Yes.
they're greater than whatever what the hell moment they
And us women deserve the best.
we deserve the best. We are
Yes.
priceless. We are worth more. So thank you so
Yes.
much, mom. Thank you
You're
everyone
welcome, my love.
watching, and stay tuned and take care. Bye.
Hi, ladies.